they're gonna feel, okay? So you're gonna be in my position of coach, and then you're the facilitators at that point. So right now, you're the students. I want you to behave the way they would behave, and that way we can just run through some things that are gonna happen. One of the things that I noticed with my girls is that they did exactly what you guys did, and they made the circle really, really wide. And so we did the whole kindergarten thing, and we held hands, and I said, now take 2 steps backwards. We all took 2 steps, and then we sat down. So we left each other enough personal bubble space, but at the same time, we were all together so that they understand we're a team. We're gonna be close. We're gonna sit together. We're gonna hold hands. We're gonna, we're gonna be touchy-feely, because that's the way a lot of the assignments will be as they get to know each other. This backpack is your best friend. Everything that you need is in it. How many of you are actual teachers in classrooms? Okay. The beautiful thing that those ladies have done for us, we don't have to use any of our own materials. So yeah, everything is in here. Have any of you, where's Stephanie? Stephanie Brown.
I am.
Stephanie. Okay, so Stephanie knows this. She's an amazing coach too. She's been doing this for 10 years now? 10 season-ishes, is it? So everything you need is here. You don't have to use any of your own materials. If you're not a teacher, you don't have to go, oh my God, I gotta have markers, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. I will suggest that you look over the lesson at least the night before, just so you're aware of, this is what I'm gonna need for this one, instead of coming in and that being something that takes up your time. Time management, and Stephanie, you can, time management is a big deal. For those of us that are teachers, we're always on, and we always have someplace else we have to be, or another subject that we have to teach. With Girls on the Run, it's kind of the same thing. You don't want to run out of time, and that's something that I'm really bad about. So what I do is I use my assistant coach, and she's my timer, and so she just kind of keeps us going and keeping the flow. There will be some days, I'll be very honest, that our girls have come in and there's been some drama. Yes, at elementary school there's drama, especially with 5th grade girls. I don't know what it is. They're preparing for middle school life. I don't know, especially in the spring, but there's always drama. So on the days when you have a lot of your girls that are just, I don't want to be here today, this is not what I want to do, and we're faking belly aches and we're faking headaches because we don't want to do this today, sometimes you have to forego that time and just kind of be, and let them have that time to just talk and walk with each other. And if you need to cut a little thing out, then cut a little thing out. But having them walk together and talk together and walk and talk with the coaches, that really helps them. As the girls were saying earlier, Girls on the Run isn't just a running program. It's about helping to empower our girls, helping to build their confidence. A lot of the girls that you have will not be runners. I think out of my girls last year, I had one that loved to run. And she found herself slowing down sometimes so that she can encourage a classmate. And we had one that was a heavier set young lady who, I'm gonna walk every single time, and if I walk slow, I walk slow. And by the end of the season, she was still able to finish the 5K in under an hour, and she was so proud of herself, and her teammates were cheering her on the whole time. And so it does make a huge difference with these girls. You may not see it right then, but by the 5K, you are going to see the difference that just that talking and interaction and that relationship building has made. So let's get started. Like I said, this is going to be your best friend. Jen was nice enough to already start my poster so that we would be able to do that in here. If you look at your lesson, that very first page of every lesson is going to tell you, what materials do I need? What are some things that we're going to be going over, and how do I get in this frame of mind? That very first lesson is all about getting to know your girls and letting them get to know you. If you're a teacher at their school, it's really important that they see you in a different light here, okay? I always change my name up and I let them call me Coach Kari instead of Miss Lovell. that is up to you and how your school does things. But they know that during Girls on the Run, I'm Coach Kari. I'm no longer Miss Lovell. They don't need to come to me with academic stuff and all of that. They don't have to worry about, oh, Miss Lovell's gonna go tell Miss Brooks that I said da-da-da-da-da. They need to understand that you are there as a coach and not as a teacher at their school right then. Okay, that's really important for those of you that are teachers. So let's take a look at our materials. Notice that it says that the ball or the beanbag will be optional. I love using the beanbag with the kids. It's so much easier to catch, number one, and it doesn't roll away when they don't catch it, because a lot of your girls will not be able to catch. It's the strangest thing. But your ball and your beanbag, any of those things that you might need are going to be down in this front pocket. This is where most of your materials are. All of your, these are your cones. We spend a lot of time like taping things to our cones, especially in certain lessons where it says you have to go to the agree, disagree, or neutral. So feel free to tape on them, it's okay. You have tape, you have markers, everything is in here. You even have a little first aid kit because someone is going to get a hangnail or something that they want a Band-Aid for. So there's plenty of those things down in your backpack. All right, so we are going to pretend that I have all of my materials and we're going to get started. All right, if you look on your second page, it does give you a time frame. This is how much time we need, and again, I use my assistant coach. If you've got a timer or stopwatch, whatever you want to use, later in the season, this is a good thing to have one of the girls do. They can be your timekeeper, especially if you have a girl that doesn't really want to do this. Mama signed me up because she wanted me to be part of something. It's a good way to get her involved. Let her be your little timekeeper and just let her know, okay, I need you to set the timer for 5 minutes. And then try to stick to that. And as teachers, we're bad about that. The timer goes off and we go, oh, we just need 2 more minutes. Just set that for 2 more minutes. As teachers, we've got to let that go and just try to stay focused on, we've got a lot we want to cover and we want to make sure that they have plenty of time to actually get up and moving and have that relationship time with their peers. So if you notice, it says that the are you ready is what you're doing before practice, okay? Those are the things where you're making sure you have all of your materials and those things hopefully the night before. Your introduction is on the next page. So this is your are you ready, the bean ball, the bean bag or the ball that you want to use. And you always want to have them sitting in a circle, and the coaches need to be in the circle with them. I know sometimes it's hard after we've been teaching all day to sit on the floor and do all of that, but and those of you that are parents and have little ones, you're used to sitting in the floor, but it's imperative that you sit with your girls, that you're eye level, that they don't ever see you as somebody that's way up here. I'm just another authority figure. So make sure that you're with them, that your assistant coach is also with them, because they need to see that person as also one of your team members, okay? So here we go. We're gonna all be sitting together. We usually have them pull out their snacks. They've gone all day. They've had lunch probably at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and they need something. So what I do the first week is I usually bring in like those little cutie oranges, and you're gonna give them their water bottles on that first meeting. So let them fill up their water bottle, pass out a little snack for them, because inadvertently they're gonna come in and forget I was supposed to have a snack. So have something for them the first week and just remind them and the parents, hey, they need to bring some kind of a snack with them, unless you wanna do like a Sign Up Genius or something like that, and let parents choose if they can bring in. If you come from a poorer school, a Title I school, that's not always the greatest thing to do, because a lot of our girls don't have that extra money to bring snacks for everybody else. So you know your clientele, you know who the girls are at your school, so you decide how you want to do snack. That is something you do get an allowance for your girls. Is it $10, Miss Jen?
$10 per girl. We
Okay,
kind of
so-
discourage buying snacks just because there are so many different allergies, and you'll know what the allergies are, because
Yeah.
I'll tell you, but nonetheless, if they can bring their own, that's great, but I know some coaches like you purchase pretzels or.
Yeah, and again, it goes by how you know your girls. You know, last season, I think we had 3 out of all of our girls that actually brought snack, and it was usually, you know, our kids that are back the pack and those kind of things. So just having that healthy option, and then if you do have a girl that comes without a snack, you've at least got something for them. But you do get reimbursed $10 per girl at the end of the season. We usually use that for our end of the year celebration, our end of season celebration, but it's up to you again how you decide to use that. Okay?
Can I
Yes,
change the issue real
absolutely.
quick? My daughter ran last season, and now I'm teacher, coach, and mom.
Yeah.
So, but, she mentioned to me, 'cause we have breakfast in the classroom, or if anybody else has that, like, if you keep like an extra stash of things that kids don't eat, like, have that on hand if you want them to have an option if they don't.
Apples are always
Yes.
plentiful.
Yes.
Pears, okay, they have lots.
Yeah, the fruit is usually what they won't eat for whatever reason out of their little breakfast things. A lot of kids will save it, but instead of them throwing it away and wasting it, that's a great idea to just have them put it in a little bin. Okay. All right, so on that first day, you're gonna go over a lot of your policies and procedures, the routine, this is what we're gonna do. So you have the girls come in, everybody sits down, they're having their snack, they've filled up their water bottles. This is the time when they can just breathe, okay? Encourage a lot of that, of the talking as they're eating their snack, you know. How'd your day go today? Anybody have anything they wanna share? Did something really great happen? And MAPS testing, around MAPS testing time, it's gonna be, oh, we had MAPS today, and, oh, but I met my score, or I did this, or I did that. So during that testing time, or when there's a heavy testing week, they're going to want to share. Either they hate their teachers that week because they gave them 5 tests, or they, you know, or it was MAPS testing and it was just a really long day for them. So encourage that share time in the Are You Ready piece, okay? Once you've given them time to eat their snack, you go into that introduction. And on the very first day, we're gonna go through this lesson, and now is when I'm going to make you my 4th and 5th graders, and I'm just gonna teach this lesson, okay? All right, and you can follow along if you want to. So again, we're already in the circle and we're seating each other. So I'm gonna welcome everybody. Welcome to Girls on the Run this season. It's so good to see some of you have come back from the fall, and we've got some new faces. I'm really excited. I'm Coach Kari, and this is Coach Black. She is our assistant coach this time, and she's gonna be helping us to do some of these lessons. And then everybody says hi, and then and then maybe you have a couple girls that have already been there. So Stephanie, would you like to share with us how long you've been doing Girls on the Run and what you love about it?
Sure. Last season, when I was a 3rd grader, I was able to do Girls on the Run, and I really enjoyed the 5K.
Okay. Would someone else like to share? Someone else that's maybe done Girls on the Run before? No? Okay, so then why don't we have a volunteer talk about why you joined Girls on the Run this time? Yes, go ahead.
I want to learn how to build my endurance and make new friends.
Ooh, build your endurance and make new friends. Well, we can definitely get you going on both of those. You're going to make lots of new friends in this room, and I hope that by the end of the season, everybody is talking to each other in the hallway, even if you're not on the same grade level. So we're going to do a couple of things. Practice is going to be every Monday and Wednesday. We're going to come straight to this room from 2:30 until 4 o'clock. We're going to be just Girls on the Run. This isn't a time for homework. We're not going to worry about school. We're just going to have a great time. We're going to dance, we're going to sing, we're going to cheer, and this is going to be a great time. You need to remember to wear your tennis shoes. I see a lot of people have Crocs on today. You need to make sure that you at least bring some tennis shoes in your backpack so that you can switch. We don't want anybody getting hurt while we're running on our track today, okay? Water bottles. Oh my goodness, is that important. You're gonna have your brand new Girls on the Run water bottle. It's got your name on it. Try to bring that with you every single time. If you'd like to empty them at the end of the practice and just leave them over here in our Girls on the Run bin, you can do that, and that way you don't have to worry about whether or not you lose your bottle. Okay, we definitely need you to stay hydrated. Make sure that you bring a healthy snack. We don't want you eating a bunch of sugar. I know a Snickers bar sounds really good right now, but we do not want extra sugar. Because if we have a lot of sugar, you are gonna crash. By the time we're out there running, you are going to be ready to take a nap. And we don't want that. We want you to have natural sugars, grapes, oranges, granola bars, anything that is healthy, that's what we want you to bring with you. If you forget a snack, that's okay. I'm sure that we will have something that you'll be able to have when we first come in. What questions do you have about when we're gonna practice or what you need to bring every day? All right, perfect. At the end of our season, everybody, believe it or not, we are going to run a 5K. That sounds like it's really long, but guess what? We don't go by kilometers here. It's only 3.1 miles. It's okay. It's not bad. And we're gonna be doing that in practice anyway. So when you get out there, you're just gonna do your personal best. We're gonna run, we're gonna walk, we're gonna skip. You can crab walk if you would like to. You can dance the whole time. Whatever you wanna do, you're just gonna keep moving. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna encourage each other. And guess what? There's gonna be over 300 or 400 other girls out there. So you're just gonna encourage each other. Everybody's gonna go through the same program. So we're gonna make sure that everybody feels like they can do this. And then whatever your time is what your time is. And when you come back in the fall, which I hope you will, you're gonna try to beat that time. Okay, so basically some of your girls that have been in there before will share, what they like. They may even, when you start talking about the 5K, they may want to add a little bit into it. And again, that's fine, let them share because it's their experience that's gonna get more girls engaged and want to join, okay? All right, so you go from that to creating belonging, and you notice that it tells you what you need. Again, use your assistant coach. If your assistant coach is one of those that's like, I'm here to support you, I'm not here to do this. So let them do whatever they feel comfortable. If you wanna do the introduction piece and they want to do the next part of the lesson, then let them do that. You've gotta get to know your assistant coach because whatever they feel comfortable with, I know in my case, my assistant coach is my assistant coach because we were not gonna have a team if we didn't have one. So, and she will tell you up front, she's not a runner, but she will help you teach if you want her to teach. Okay, so just get with your assistant coach, see what they feel comfortable with. Notice that your materials are your index cards. You're gonna have a poster, you're gonna have markers, and you want to make your poster before that first lesson. So at the top, you're gonna have it say our team agreement. And notice that these top 3 are already written in. You're gonna wanna have those done before you meet with your girls, okay? These are the 3 things that we pride Girls on the Run. This is our pride, this is what we all go by. So you're gonna want to say to them, and it tells you exactly what to say. Before we get started with today's lesson, let's create our team agreement to help us all feel safe and respected. We're going to listen to others speak, we're going to be kind to everyone, and we're going to encourage others. Every girl that participates in Girls on the Run is going to live by these 3 things, but our team is unique. We do things differently at Oakdale than they do down the street at Springfield Elementary. So we have to come up with 2 more things that we can agree on that we want to have happen at every one of our practices. What are some things that you can think of that we need to do to be a successful team? And then let them brainstorm, talk about it, decide what everybody is going to agree on, okay, on how we want to treat each other. And those are the other 2 things that you're going to add onto your poster, okay? It's important to try to find a place where you can display your poster before every Girls on the Run meeting. Those of you that are teachers and you're in PLCs, you know we go over our norms before we do our meetings. It's the same thing. You want to go over this team agreement before every meeting. And if they start to break one of these, especially the one about be kind to everyone, you'll want to refer back to it. Remember, we all agreed at the beginning of Girls on the Run that we were going to be kind to everyone. Are we doing that right now and just kind of bring them back to, okay, I agreed to this, let me let me chill out, I'm having a bad day, okay? So you're gonna write that down, make sure this is hanging up, and then you're gonna go to part 2. In this next activity, you will get a chance to share anything important that you want the coaches to know about you. Each of you has an index card and a marker. I want you to write anything that you want myself and Coach Black to know about you. It won't be shared with anybody else, just the 2 of us. If you have a nickname that you prefer that we call you, put that down. If you want us to know that you have some kind of allergy, or maybe there's something wrong with your foot that you can't run a whole lot, if there's something special about you that you just want us to know, I want you to write it on that index card. Give them a few minutes, have them hand it to you, don't read them right then. Just gather up all the index cards, and at the end of practice that day, you and your assistant coach need to go back and look through them, make sure that you're aware of anything that the girls tell you. Sometimes they will let you know things right at the beginning of the season. You know, I live with my grandmama, my parents passed away, I'm a foster kid. They will share things with you that they want you to know that's important to them and who they are. Unless it says something about I want to go kill myself tomorrow, you know, unless it's something about hurting themselves or somebody's hurting them, you keep it between you and the coach. If you have something where they're sharing that, hey, I just want you to know that my daddy is in jail and this is what happened, and they just need to share, that's okay. It's not something that you have to bring up to them every practice, okay? Let them do the sharing, and then just know that that's part of who they are, okay? Once you've done that, you go to getting on board. Now, this is a fun game, and again, you want to make sure that wherever you are having your meetings, that there's enough room to do this. If you're in a classroom and there's not enough room for everybody to sit in this circle and you to run around a circle, do this activity outside. Okay, so you're gonna have to really know your space and know where you're gonna be able to do this. If it's a rainy day, make sure that you have a place that is available to you, whether it's inside the gym or under a catwalk, but make sure that you're still gonna have that available space that you're gonna need. Okay, so here's our game. You're gonna give everyone a name tag. And so here you go, everybody's got a name tag. And what I did last year is there's a page in your book that has a whole bunch of different adjectives on it. And you may wanna put that in the middle of the circle, because sometimes it's hard for them to just come up with an adjective that goes with their name, okay? So each practice, we will have a big idea that connects all the activities for the day together. Today's big idea is our GOATer team. What do you think it means to be part of a team? And then you ask for volunteers, let them answer. In our first activity, we're gonna start to become a team by learning each other's GOATer name. Now, your GOATer name is gonna be different from what you get called every day. I want you to think of an adjective that describes who you are. So start thinking your first name. So for example, I'm Coach Kari, so my first name starts with a C, and I'm compassionate. So my GOATer name is going to be Compassionate Kari, and I'm gonna write that on my name tag, okay? And then you give them a little bit of time to come up with what they want their GOATer name to be, okay? So once they've got that adjective, again, if they're having trouble coming up with one, I had a girl whose name started with a V, and the only thing that we could come up with was victorious. And so, you know, some of them are harder to do, especially with the way names are spelled now. Zaria spells her name with an X at the beginning, and so we just did excellent because it's hard to come up with some. So help those girls that might be struggling to come up with an adjective, and let them go ahead and get their name on their name tag and let them put it on, okay? And that's their GOATer name for the entire season, okay? So once you've done that, you're gonna tell them, we're going to play Duck, Duck, Goose. So before we can play, we're gonna go around the circle and we're going to share our new GOATer name, okay? So I'm Compassionate Kari. What would your name be?
I'm gonna take yours, Compassionate Katie.
Okay, that's good. What would your name be?
Determined Danielle.
Determined Danielle. And you want to try to repeat it after, just because there may be some girls that have already zoned out. So you want to make sure that they all hear what the names are, okay? So once you've gone all the way around and everybody has introduced themselves, a variation of it could be, she said she's Compassionate Katie, so we would all go, hi, Compassionate Katie, and then go to the next part. Hi, Determined, and just go around, okay? That's up to you depending on what kind of time, because again, this is 10 to 15 minutes, all right? So then when you do the duck, duck, goose, you and your assistant coach need to be the ones to start so that they understand what we're doing. Now, you're not gonna go around and go duck, duck, goose, and then chase each other, okay? So in this game, what you're gonna do is we're gonna move around the outside of the circle, and I'm gonna start this way. And when I put my hand over her head, I'm gonna say, name,
Active Alley.
Active Alley. Name,
Athletic Abby.
Athletic Abby. Name,
Loving Lindsay.
Loving Lindsay. And you're gonna keep doing that. Let them go as many times as they wanna go. And then, at some point, you're gonna stop and you're gonna go, move. And when that person is told to move, they go the opposite direction, okay? So would you mind being my guinea pig and stand up?
Hold on.
Now, you're gonna go that way around the circle and I'm gonna go this way. And when we meet, we're gonna high five,
Okay.
okay? So you go that way, I'll go this way. I know it's kind of hard in here, but, and we high five and we keep going until we get back to our space. I'm gonna go inside the circle, sorry. Now, the person who was originally it is gonna sit down in her spot. She's now considered tagged because we high-fived. So now she goes around. Name, name, and it's just so that they can really practice each other's names, and it's a fun way to do it. And they can skip around the circle, they can run around the circle. So again, you've got to make sure that you have plenty of space. Okay? Anybody have questions about how to do that one?
Do you wait till every girl has had a chance to be tagged?
It doesn't have to be every girl. If you have a small group, you're more than likely going to get to everybody. But I would just play a couple of rounds so that everybody's name has been shared and they get the idea of it. But if you wait, if you've got a 20-girl team, you're not going to get to everybody in 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. All right, so everybody's got that one. We know what to do. Any other questions on that one? Okay. All right, so then you go into stretch and strengthening exercise. Now, with your stretch and strengthening exercises, if you've got girls that are returning from the fall, they already know these exercises, and you could go ahead and ask one of them if they want to lead the stretches. You're gonna have girls that, that's what they wanna do. They wanna lead and empower them, give them that opportunity to do so. What I did is I had all of the options that they had for the stretching on a card, and we put it in the middle of our circle so they could just look at it to remember what we had. They do give you adaptations if you have girls that are unable to do certain movements. So you can say, we're gonna use this side or we're gonna use that side. Or just before the next practice, make sure that those are the ones that you give them the option of doing. There are pictures in your teacher's guide so that on pages 21 through 29, so you can see what each of these look like. So we're just gonna run through them really quickly, so if everybody will stand up. Each practice, we will do exercises that will help us get stronger and prepare for our 5K. This is usually where you hear the first moans from the girls, okay? So you can either lead them through 4 of them or let, like I said, one of the girls do it. So your first exercise is high knee marches. And we just kind of added the whole elbow thing just to get them moving their upper and lower body. So your high knee marches, we had 2 girls that would lead. One would say, we're gonna do high knee marches, and the other one would be the counter. So it's up to you how many you make them do. We usually said 15 just so that we really got them warming up. So we're gonna do 15 high knee marches. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we're done. Then you have the other girl decide on which one she wants to do. Wide knee marches are basically the same thing, only this time you're out here. And my girls, for whatever reason in Springfield Middle School, they decided to do the whole Samoan, I don't know, they just came up with it and they were like, hoo, hoo. And so if they want to add noises and stuff to their thing, then let them do it, but make sure that one girl is still counting, because otherwise you're going to keep going, okay? So those are your wide knee marches. Knees up running. This is, knees are in the front. We're going to run like this. So everybody, knees up running. And we would have the other girl count to like 30, and you can stop. I'll make you do the whole thing. Heels up running. You got to make sure that they are really kicking those heels up. And I kept telling mine, kick your booty, make yourself go. And so your heels up, you want to make sure that they're coming all the way up. Okay, so everybody for like 5 seconds, do some knees up running. Go, girls. Yeah, don't knock anything off. They won't let us come back. Now, toy soldiers, they liked. And again, you've got to have a lot of space. Toy soldiers, we did this, and it stretches the back. And we did 5 in, and we turned around and went 5 back. So everybody try the toy soldier. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can have them turn around and go back. Okay? And then forward walking lunges, we all turned around and went outside the circle, because otherwise yeah. So forward walking lunges, you got to make the girls slow down the count. And you got to do 1, 2, because otherwise they're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've done 2. So those are your stretching. Then you can have them sit down depending on what your circuit is. So everybody sit down. Now, if you're doing this outside, we have some girls that are allergic to grass. So you gotta know the allergies. If they're allergic to grass, let them bring a towel, a blanket, something that they can sit down. If you do it on the asphalt, Oakdale's track is horrible. We have asphalt coming up, there's rocks, there's everything, so you sit down and it's horrible. So tell them they can bring a towel, a blanket, something that they can sit on, okay? So luckily for us, we get circuit 1 for the first one. 15 squats, 10 in and outs, or you can do the adaptations. And again, I wouldn't offer the adaptations unless you know that the girls just really need it. And you won't know that until the first couple of times that you do these. The squats, they think are funny because we would always, when we did the squats, we'd say booty out so that they're not just going straight down. They're kind of stretching their back too and they're going down. So they like doing the squats. They don't like the ones on the ground as much, okay? So when you have them do their squats, again, there are pictures in your book to know exactly how to do them, okay? So when you do your squats, and it's important to watch your girls and make sure that they're not just doing this, okay? They need to actually spread their legs so that they're shoulder width, and then they go down. And we tell them booties out just so that they know that they need to really be stretching those glutes and everything. So you have them do 15 of those, and then again, the girls can lead these. And then you have in and outs. Now, in and outs, you have to lean back. So I'm gonna have everybody do this one. So just kind of lean back. You can move into the circle a little bit, okay? Your fingers are facing you. Yeah, it builds those arms. It feels weird. You're gonna lean back. This is gonna help you build your core. We're gonna go in, out, in, out, in, out. And you do that for a count of 10. So it's in, out 1, in, out 2, okay? So, and you definitely, you wanna watch your girls, make sure that they know how to do it. If you go this way and you go in, out, it's really hard to move. You see what I'm saying? When you're like this, it gives you a little bit more range of motion. Okay, so when the girls are complaining, you can show them that. All right, so now you have stretched them, you've done your exercises. Now we're ready for the warm-up and the workout. I haven't even got to that part yet, right? So this is, again, that first lesson. Bring out your poster. You're going to have markers, your cones, and then on the back, again, you want to have this done ahead of time. On the back of your agreement, you're going to write, "We got this." And you're going to have like 3 or 4 encouraging phrases on the back. So you see that Jen was nice enough to already do that for us. But then leave spaces for them to add to it. Okay? You missed the in and outs. She's so lucky. You're going to make sure that your 4 cones are spaced evenly. Now, again, utilize your assistant coach. While you're talking to the girls, let your coach go get those cones out. Or if you have the luxury of coming in, you're not a teacher and doing duty and you're going to be rushing, then you can come in and set up before your girls even go out. Okay? So have your 4 cones out, and then you're going to say to them, this is on page 43, "An important part of becoming a team is helping each other believe in ourselves. Let's get started in our first workout." So you show them the "We Got This" poster. You're going to take just a minute to brainstorm 2 or 3 more encouraging phrases and add those to the posters, or have one of the girls be your scribe and add onto the poster. Anything that you can empower the girls to do, let them do it. Okay? It should be more about them than it is about us making sure that the poster looks really nice. Okay? Once you've done that one, you show everybody the lap space and the 4 cones. Tell them they can move however they feel comfortable. So again, you can run, you can dance, you can skip, you can hop, but you've got to stay moving. Okay? Each time you pass a teammate, you're going to encourage them. You can use the same encouraging phrase the whole workout, or you can choose a new phrase, which is why you just did that activity. Throughout the workout, I will yell, "Team meet!" And this is where your whistle can come in handy, especially if you have a lot of girls. I would use the whistle. Then you're going to move as fast as you can to the nearest cone. At the cone, you're going to high-five your teammate and share one fun fact about yourself. Okay? So you let them kind of move around the cones, and the more you go, "Team meet," the more times they can actually meet with somebody. One of the things that I try to tell my girls is, if you've already been to meet somebody, you need to go to a different cone. So you want to encourage them to meet as many teammates as they possibly can. Otherwise, your friends are going to stick together, just like, adults do the same thing. So it's that whole familiarity thing, okay? You and your coach, your assistant coach, are going to practice that first. You're going to show them, okay, we're going to go around, try to play some music or something if you can on a phone or whatever, so they can have something. Don't let them have their phones. You use yours, or let the assistant coach, okay? And just do it with your assistant coach first. Yell "Team meet," and you and your assistant coach practice that piece, okay? And then once you're finished with that part, again, it gives you the amount of time, so 25 to 30 minutes for this part. That helps with the bigger teams to meet as many people as possible. Now you're going to lead them through the cool down stretches. And again, that's going to be on 30 to 32. It's really important to do those cool down stretches. That was something that I learned the hard way, because if you don't have them cool down, somebody can end up having an injury. So you definitely want to make sure that they're cooling down, and this is a good time to debrief. So if you look on,
We probably needed as much as they.
exactly. On page 30, in your book, it'll actually tell you that this is the post-workout stretching. You may wanna make a copy of this just so that you have it for yourself and you're not having to go back, cause it won't show up in every lesson. Okay, so you're gonna wanna know what those are. So, you want to have them again, come to the circle. Now we're ready to just kind of stretch out. You could do the quadriceps lying on your left side, bend your knee, grab your foot, the shoulder stretches, just anything to just kind of bring their heart rate back down and let them just kind of talk. This is what went really well. So make sure you do those, the processing and the stretching. Have them turn and talk. What's one thing that you learned about a teammate today? How did it feel to encourage your teammates? What did you like about the game that we played today? So you just want to have them kind of talking about how do you feel practice one went, because you want them to be excited. You want them to be ready to come back for your next one, okay? And then you're gonna do your wrap up. Now, we often would go back into our classroom for the wrap up, especially come April and May when it starts to get really, really hot outside. Just going ahead and bringing them back in. If they need to refill their water bottle, let them do that and then come back into your other space. You're gonna give them their journal. Every girl is going to have one of these journals that you give to them during your wrap up today. These do not go home. They will not come back. So keep them in your Girls on the Run backpack or in a little bin where they're gonna keep their water bottles and stuff, but keep everything together. So you're gonna pass one of these out to them, let them write their name, or if you do like me, you wanna write it real cutesy before you give it to them, then that's fine too. And so we're all sitting in our circle. Amazing job today, team. At the end of each practice, we'll reflect on what we learned by writing or drawing in our GOATer toolbox. Over the season, our GOATer toolbox will fill up with what we learned and want to remember from our seasons. You're gonna pass them all out, give everybody a marker. Some of my girls didn't like writing with marker. They wanted pencils or they wanted pens because the markers sometimes are harder because they've got the fat tips. So that's where if you wanted to bring in some of your own materials, you could do that as far as pens and pencils. So then you're gonna have them turn to page 1. Again, they're gonna write their name right here. This is the place for them to doodle. They can do whatever they want. This is their journal. Let them just kind of have fun with it. Then you're gonna tell them to turn in their journal to their GOATer toolbox, which is on 14 and 15. And this is something that you will go to at the end of every single practice, okay? So you're gonna have them go to their GOATer toolbox. Today we began to come together as a GOATer team. Find the words our team in the center of your toolbox. And then, of course, you want to model so that they know that it's going to the right place, because you may have some girls that struggle with reading, struggle with writing, so you want to make sure that you're always modeling and showing them what you're doing. So here's our team. Today we came together as a GOATer team. Find the words our team in the center of your toolbox. Write or draw one thing that you learned about our team today. Now you notice it is not a real big space, okay? A lot of them choose to draw just because it's easier and they can take up that space and they don't have to worry about going out of the lines. You have those perfectionists that don't want to have to write outside of that little space. So let them do that and then give them an example of what you learned today. I learned that there are so many unique personalities on our team that we are going to have a great time this year. And then have your assistant coach explain what they learned, okay? And then that way that kind of gives them a little bit of processing time if they're not really sure what you're asking them to do, okay? Give them 2 minutes to write or draw and then allow 3 or 4 of your girls to share. I try to keep track of who's sharing just so I'm not calling on the same people every time. And you want to try to bring in those shy people. And sometimes I'll even, instead of letting them share out as a whole group, I'll just say, turn and tell your elbow partner. And then that way everybody does it. Okay, so that's just a good practice to make sure everybody gets involved. And then you're going to collect their journals again, because like I said, don't let it go home. So you take it at the end of the season. This is something that they get to take back home. Their parents can see what they've done. If you notice on the back, there's another doodle space. So there's places where they'll be able to go in and draw and do whatever they want to do, just not during your Girls on the Run time. And then you end each lesson with an energy award. Now, your first couple, you may just want to give energy awards to everybody. These are always fun. They do have videos on the Girls on the Run website of different energy awards you can do. Our fun one, the one that they liked the best, was Superstar. I don't know how many of you are old enough to even know this, but that movie Superstar, yes, we would do the whole Superstar, you know, so yes, I'm glad that it's not just me. But they also like Sizzle, you sizzle today. So you guys can come up with your own, or you can just steal some from the Girls on the Run videos. They liked Rockstar because you're pretending that you got an air guitar. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell them, okay, at the end of every practice, we're going to give energy awards. And today, Coach Black and I are going to do it because every person in here came out of their shell and you participated. So we're going to give the whole team an energy award for being on task and really trying today. So give yourself a rock star, and you show them, and everybody does the rock star, and you celebrate. And then at the very end, everybody puts their hand in. You do your little cheer. Most of us at elementary will do Girls on the Run. Is so much fun. When I did it in middle school and we did Heart and Soul, we did Heart and Soul is the way to go. So you can come up with your own, or you can just stick with the standard Girls on the Run. Is so much fun. Okay? And then that's the end of your lesson. Now, you can have girls give energy awards at the end of each one if you would like. You could, on that last page of your lesson, on page 46, it tells you, you could give energy awards for helping one person meet their lap goal. Someone uses a goat or skill. They decide to pair up with a teammate who's often by themselves. They share their ideas. Whatever you want to give an energy award for. We started doing the, where the girls did it, and then it became cliquish. It became, oh, I'm just going to give one to my friends every time. And so Coach Black and I decided, you know what, we're giving the same energy awards to the same girls every time. So Coach Black and I are going to take that, and we're going to do energy awards because everybody is doing such a great job. And so we just let them know. We didn't call them out on that fact. We just let them know, hey, there's a lot of girls not being recognized that should be. And so we did it. You may choose not to turn that to the girls at all, but you could tell the girls, hey, does anybody want to share why somebody should get an energy award today, and let them praise their teammates if that's what they want to do, because we want them to encourage. Okay? What questions do you guys have? I know that lesson went pretty fast, but I mean...
I appreciate it very much. We all do.
If your girls ran several seasons, is this always the first lesson in every season?
It's always, the very first lesson is always about introducing yourselves. Last season was a different curriculum, so they didn't do that Duck, Duck, Goose game. That was something new. I would encourage your girls that have done it before, like we only have one new girl on our spring team that wasn't on our fall team. So I would encourage them, try to come up with a new adjective for this season instead of the same adjective that you used the first time. So try to encourage them to do something a little bit different. The whole curriculum is completely different than what they had in the fall, so the lessons they're not going to be familiar with. And you may actually hear them bring in some of the lessons. Some of my girls still talk about being star sparklers instead of star dimmers, and the people that aren't in Girls on the Run, they have no idea what they've said to them. But my one girl in particular, she's in my class, and whew, she is strong-willed, and she and I butt heads every day in class. But when it comes time for Girls on the Run, you wouldn't even know it, because she is like the one that clings to me. But she just happened to say something to one of the boys the other day, and she said, "Stop trying to dim my star. You should be a star sparkler." And he looked at her like, what the heck? And I was like, yes, Taylor, tell them what they need to do. So you will hear them saying things to other people that aren't in Girls on the Run, and they like that because that's their own language, you know. And so they kind of like that, and you can use that, especially if they're in your classroom, teachers. You can kind of make that connection, and it's your own private little thing where now you have a relationship with them and nobody else knows about it, you know. So that was a good question, though. What other questions do you guys have, or concerns or anything for the
This
first
might
one?
be a question for them, but how much does it cost for them to register? Because after hearing this, there's a lot of girls I know in 5th grade would really benefit from this?
Yes. We have sponsors, which is amazing. When they go online and they apply to be in Girls on the Run, there's a piece that says, do you need financial assistance? And then the parent puts in whatever amount of money they might make. I have one girl whose mom is a single mom. She's unemployed. They live with a family member. They go by the mom's employment. She's unemployed, so she doesn't pay a thing.
Okay.
And so she's completely free. And that's something that the girls are great about having flyers that actually will say financial assistance available,
Okay.
and you can pass those out. You just need to let them know, hey, I need the one that has financial assistance on there.
Okay.
And that's what we did at Oakdale, because we have a lot of kids that can't afford it.
Yeah, I'm at York Road,
Okay, so you know,
Yeah.
and I teach
So-
5th grade there, and I could name like 10 girls that would really do well with
that's
this.
why you've been at York Road for a while.
It's my first year there,
It's your
but I was
first
at
year?
Northside before.
Because you look very familiar. So I was at Independence for 10 years before I went to Oakdale, but my kids went to York Road
Oh, okay.
last year. So, and the coach that was there last year, she was really good about making sure that,
She's doing it again.
is she?
She's my teammate, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we teach together.
Okay.
It's like a sliding scale, but I highlighted every one of my papers. This is Miss Carey's name,
Yes.
and number, and email. If mom says, I can't afford it, tell her to
Yeah,
call Carey.
I'm about to reach
Yes,
out
That's what I
to
say.
some individually that I know would do well.
Because we're definitely Title I as well.
And I did have some whose parents don't speak English, and the application is in English online. So what I had them do is they came in, and I had the computer set up, and luckily I can speak Spanish, and so they would tell me what to put in, and I just put their information in. So you may wanna offer that to any of your families, even the older ones, like the ones that live with grandparents or aunts and uncles or, foster kids, if they're not good with the whole finagling, because that application can be daunting, it could be overwhelming. So if you want to just offer that, hey, if your girl wants to participate, come on in, I'm gonna have computers set up, you could go ahead and register them here. If you need financial assistance, we can take care of that as well, and that'll give you another outlet. Especially if your teams are dwindling, like this was the first year in the fall in 15 years that we've had a team at Oakdale.
Really?
Yeah, so, and it was just because I pushed and pushed and pushed and made sure everybody knew that there was financial assistance and that I was available to help them come in and fill out the application, and it made parents feel more willing and comfortable to do it. So,
My daughter's in 3rd, and she did it last season, which she thoroughly enjoyed it, but there's not a lot of girls. I think it's just your daughter and my daughter that are coming
Yeah.
back from the season, from the fall.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if they have other activities going on or whatever, but, she has mentioned a couple girls who I know their family just because of friendships and
Right.
how they've come through school together. So I definitely reached out to those, that said, your girl is interested, like,
yes.
my daughter's talked about it, they'd really like to be together, we have a way to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Because quite honestly, carrying them will enroll whatever girls wanna come this week. It's just gotta happen before that first meeting. So, I mean, you've still got this whole first week. If you know that there are girls that are interested and you wanna get that out to them, like I said, just mention it to Carrie or Lindy or Jen, and they will make sure that you get whatever flyers you need with the financial assistance. They had one that had a QR code on it, so that all they had to do was go to the QR code.
Yeah.
But definitely offer, if you have the ability to offer for them to come in and let you help them fill it out. Some of them just don't feel comfortable doing it online.
I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but my school was okay with it, for me to post it on my social media, and I tagged the school.
Right.
Because they have their own little site too, that posts things from the school as well.
Yeah.
And that way kinda linked into there, but it was on my social as well, cause a lot of those mothers that have either already taught their child and they moved on, or that are friends of my daughters and everything,
Right.
they are at the ages that they could do it. So I even had a couple of them reach out and say, are you the coach this year? And I was like, I am for this season, and they were like, I think I'm gonna sign her up.
Yeah.
You know, so
And a lot of
it was
the
good to do.
administrators will put it on their school website, and so parents can get to it that way. And like ours will send out a s'more every
Yes.
every Friday or whatever, and he puts it in there every time. So just reach out to your administrator at whatever site you're at and ask them if they could make sure that that's linked on their site. And if they have like their little morning news show, girls that have done Girls on the Run before, ask if they can come in and say, hey, Girls on the Run starting, I'm part of it, this is what we do, and get them to hype it up. And you're gonna get more girls coming from the girls that have been there previously. It's word of mouth and them telling them how much fun it is.
Is 16's the cap?
Actually, it's 15,
Depends
but
on how many
it
coaches you
it
have.
depends on how many coaches. We had 20 girls at Springfield Middle.
Yeah,
So if you have 3 coaches,
And we
they'll
had
allow
3
you to
coaches.
do 20.
It is, well, in
Someone
middle
said
school
they
too,
have
so
2 different teams, you can have
Mhm.
multiple teams at your school,
you can.
depends on the
Yeah,
interest.
15. What other questions do you guys have for me? We good?
I have
Yeah.
a logistical question,
Yeah.
this is the first time. So when you set up the cones, or you're setting up the laps, like, are the girls running, like if we're outside, if there's a track, are they running on a track, or are we setting up the space where they're running, like, how do we know, especially in like that first week?
Yeah, you're gonna wanna go in before that first practice and look at the site. Where are we gonna be able to run? We have Challenger, what's it called now? Be Great
Great.
Academy. Yeah, they use our gym, so we can't ever use our gym. But the administrator said, if it's raining, you can run the hallways. Well, kids love running the hallways, they pray for rain most of the time. So, but yeah, they can run the, check with your administrator, whoever's in charge of that site. Most of the schools have a track. On our track, we have to run 33 laps in order to get that 3 miles in. So you've gotta kind of go out that week before and just know where is my space. Some of them have a soccer field that's not being used. You could use the soccer field and it's gonna be a lot bigger than doing the elementary school track. We're no longer allowed to take them off-site. At Springfield Middle, we used to take them to the Greenway because we backed up to the Greenway. It was also middle school, it was amazing.
Fort Mill, so.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, it was so amazing being able to go to the Greenway. But now we're no longer allowed to take them off-site. So you do need to go to your site, make sure you know where you're gonna be running, make sure you have that contingency plan, because right now, I mean, we still have really cold days and then we have hot days, but in the rain especially, cause we still run. Whether it's rain or shine, we run. So, just find out, can we use the gym on the days that it's rainy? Can we use your cafeteria? Find out what areas are available to you at the school, because you'll wanna communicate to the office, hey, today we're gonna be in such and such room because it's raining. Okay. And they may require you to have a radio as well, one of the school radios, because when we go out, we go far away from where the school is. Sometimes we go out to the front soccer field, and if a parent comes early or something like that, they've gotta be able to reach you. So they may ask you to either give them your cell phone number, which is on this paper that you will have in your backpack. You'll need to fill out the paper in here to give to the front office. It should have your name, your cell phone number, your contact information, but ask them, do you have a radio that you want me to take? This will be in your backpack to begin with. There's your calendars are in here that tells you what dates the schools are out. It also has your supplemental materials. This year, this season, there's little supplemental materials, your little stars are in there, but the kids actually write postcards to themselves, and they've got their little envelopes for their future time capsule for the future me. And it tells you which lesson you'll be using those things. But don't forget your stars are in there. I forgot my stars were in there last time and never had them, didn't know where they were, so. But you'll have your paper in there, and then this is your reimbursement paper. Keep your receipts for things that you're gonna want reimbursement for. You list everything on the back. You turn all of these in by May 15th. They give you your stamped envelope. I usually just turn mine in my backpack at the 5K and just make sure that they have it, and then they'll cut you a check.
Is that only for head coaches?
It's only for head coaches, but what we ended up doing this last year, my assistant coach got the check, And so what I did is I just made a note on the receipt thing, and I said, make the check available to my assistant coach, and put it on there, but the head coach needs to be the one to fill it all out.
Okay.
Just make sure that your assistant coach gives you
I am the
receipts.
assistant coach.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
make
all I
sure
was
that you
asking.
get the receipts
Okay.
for it.
And their water bottles are all the same.
Yeah.
They're the same color, same lid.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be challenging, cause you know Sharpie washes off.
It does.
So I have a Cricut friend.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But I can't do it the first day, cause sometimes it depends on when I get my stickers, I can put their name on them and, but I've never had them leave them. I just have extra water bottles when they come.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put a piece of tape over Sharpie.
Put a piece of tape over the Sharpie.
Yeah, and it doesn't come off.
Okay. And these lids are prone to, eventually start leaking,
And they chew on them.
and they chew on them,
Yes.
and then they really leak. So, I mean, if you end up needing another water bottle or whatever, just let Carrie and them know, but, we have had a couple that, for whatever reason, the lids just don't last.
And if they put it in the dishwasher sometimes.
Yeah, it messes it
They
up.
make some kind of labels that are like thicker and plasticky, or so to speak,
Mhm.
that are supposed to be like less prone to coming off with water and stuff, that you can like with a Sharpie, hopefully it would stay on.
Yeah.
I remember using those when my kid had like a sippy cup when he was little.
Yeah. So definitely, you definitely wanna figure out how you're gonna be able to tell the difference with their cups, but the permanent marker will come off. Any other logistics or anything that, alright, well, I guess,
We got Donnie's out there.
oh, people gotta do CPR. Woo, fun,
Oh, you have to too.
fun. Listen, if
You
you
have
did it online, you didn't have to do practice.
You still have to do a home.
Yeah.
hands
You still have to
on
do
the
it.
start.
Oh, you still have to do the hands on the
Like a
deck.
like a test.
Oh, okay. See, we did it with our school nurse.
We did too, but it was still hands-on.
Check with your school nurse.
Mine expires today.
Yeah, the first aid one you can do online and it,
Oh, yes, afterwards. Yeah, I'm really bad.
you didn't even have to do it if you know how to. Yeah, so, but yeah, check with your school nurse, cause that's what we did, is we just did it with Motive. There you go. Yep. Hey, we were getting ready to come get you.
If anybody wants to use the restroom before we dive into last minute information, get down here.
Oh my gosh.
I know, now you gotta get up out of the floor.